from the other countries so that they have control of the majority of the oil that's here in the United States, and they can drive the price way up. They are very corrupt, Pam, and we aren't going to be using oil very much longer. So on the issue of Iraq, in regards to the oil situation, once this dinar comes in, if it's high enough to make you happy for a while, I would say you've got to weigh this now. I'm not telling you what to do on this one. This is hard for even myself, and especially myself, to figure out what to do about the revalue, because we've heard so many different scenarios. Oh, it's going to come out high and then drop to 450 like Kuwait did. Kuwait is a totally different situation, and I don't know why people that have half a brain are even comparing it to what happened in Kuwait. I mean, it's just a totally different scenario. And with the new technology that's going to be coming in after the announcement, because we won't have the utility companies anymore, and we're not going to have our government preventing us from having free energy and so forth, and our cars are going to be run differently. We're not going to be using gasoline, and I don't know how soon that will happen, but probably within the year, or at least into 2013. So I will be buying a new car because I need a car, and I'm going to buy a gas guzzler. I'm going to look at the Chrysler and the Cadillac. I want something extremely comfortable, and because I'm crippled up and everything, but I really don't. I'm not going to worry about it because there will be a way for it to be retrofitted into the current car, I believe. I don't think they're going to just throw these cars away and have a different mode of transportation right out of the barrel. I think there'll be an adjustment melding in, if you will. So as far as the oil situation, honey, I just wouldn't worry about it at all. Don't spend any brain power worrying about it. They have depleted Mother Earth of these oil reserves. That's called her life's blood. They're leaving those things, either filling them with water, and when they don't, they leave them vacant. San Pedro out here in California, in Long Beach, which you probably heard in the last month, fell off. There was 900 linear feet of coastline in the Long Beach, that's in between Los Angeles and Orange County, right on the coast in the Pacific Ocean. A whole main road going in and out of a particular area there fell off into the ocean. Well, I graduated from Huntington Beach High School, and when I was a little kid, Mom took me down grunion hunting, and it's a fish that comes in periodically and it comes up on the beach to spawn, to lay its eggs, and then the male comes in on the next wave and fertilizes them, and they're beautiful little silvery fish, and we used to just really love to go out and catch them. So what I'm trying to say is, from the time I was a little girl, I spent a lot of time in Huntington Beach with my mom and her friends, and there were oil wells everywhere. Even when I was in high school in the late 50s, mid to late 50s, there were oil wells all over the place. I went to such a rich, wealthy high school, we had to wear uniforms. It was a public high school because the poor kids like me would be so different from the wealthy kids that could wear cashmere and Angora sweaters and things like that there was a dress code. It wasn't uniforms necessarily, it was a dress code. But it was a beautiful school, and we had so many advantages. But those oil wells have been capped now so that the people coming into the Orange County and Los Angeles areas aren't seeing the oil wells that used to be there. Well, all that oil has been sucked out of the earth, and so now you're seeing, in Florida you have sinkholes and things like that, and people wonder, well, how can that be? Well, my theory on it, and some people have agreed with me, is that when we extract these liquids from Mother Earth and we leave these openings there, eventually they're going to collapse. So I see a lot of Southern California's coast falling off in the ocean. And of course, Edgar Casey, I think, predicted that California would fall off in the ocean. We already have seen it. There was 900 feet of it that went away and kind of caused a lot of problems for people living in that area because that main highway was totally collapsed. So I would not worry about the oil situation. That, again, is in God's realm, and as soon as we get rid of these dark ones that keep wanting us on this oil so they can make more money and put it in their pockets, it's going away. Does that help you at all, honey?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Any other clarification you want on that I might be able to help? I don't know if what I'm sharing with you confuses you more or helps. I just don't know.
No, I'm okay.
Are you?
I'm good with it, yeah.
Okay. And as far as investing in the oil business or oil equipment, thing like that, I would stay so far away from that little puppy. I'd run. As far as making investments other than buying a piece of real estate for yourself, after this happens, I would let the dust settle and see what's there and what's not there to invest in, and guard your money with your life.
That's so good. Go ahead, sir.
This is Charlie. I appreciate what you've all been doing over the several months here. And Lynn, Carol, Pam, Deb, Sarge. And I appreciate Carol, what she's been saying, but I've had my head in the sand on this NESARA thing. I don't even know how to spell it. And this is pretty neat to me. I'm wondering, how do you spell it? M-A?
Well, Charlie, bless your heart, honey. I'm so sorry I haven't preceded this information with that. After you're involved in it for so many years, you forget what people don't know, So it's NESARA. It's the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. So it's N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, NESARA, A and then R-A, I think. Is that correct? N-E-S?
Yep, that is right.
Yeah, even I get confused. I'm getting pretty tired here, but...
N-E-S?
N-E-S, National Economic Security. I'm going too fast. Slow me down.
I got that so far.
Okay, let's see. I've got to go over it myself to get the whole thing. National Economic Security and Reformation Act.
Carol, I'm going to go ahead and reset the room. You guys are going to have to star 6 yourself, if you don't mind. It's just we have a lot of background coming in. It won't let me unmute, Pam.
I'm sorry?
It won't let me unmute.
Won't let you unmute?
Yeah. Do you have a board up?
Yeah. Who are we trying to unmute?
Well, it was just we were getting a whole bunch of background there, and I couldn't. There was so many.
It's showing on mute.
It is showing on mute.
Yeah. Maybe your board is delayed showing it.
Okay. All right, sir. Go ahead and on star 6 yourself.
You hear me? You hear me?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. That was N-E-S-A-R-A.
Yep, that's correct.
Good, thank you so much. The other night, I think probably last Monday, you mentioned several emails, websites that it was kind of fast and I wasn't able to get them. Do you remember any of those?
Well, I can tell you our email is the neighborhood, T-H-E-E, neighborhood @hushmail.com.
Well, I have that, but I was thinking of some that Carol mentioned that we could research. Well, even tonight, they were fast and I missed it. Trying to see where that... Rumor Mill News was one.com.
Yes, rumormillnews.com.
And then there was NESARA News something.
No, it's NESARA, N as in Nancy.
NESARA, I'm sorry.
E-S-R-A. News, N-E-W-S,
Okay.
.blogspot.com.
At what?
.blogspot, that's B as in boy, L-O-G as in George, S as in Sam, P as in Paul, O-T as in Tom.
Yes.
NESARAnews.blogspot.com.
Okay, I've got that.
Okay, Charlie.
Thank you so much, and just keep up the good work. This is so interesting. Another thing I wanted to ask if I could, you mentioned that this may happen, say if at RVs pretty soon, all this change in government would happen in the next week, possibly. But what I'm wondering is this just the United States that would happen, or is this a world thing? And that would be an RV of the United States changing all that.
Well, don't confuse the RV with the United States. The RV is related basically to Iraq in the fact that this war-torn country that we went in and blew up,
Right.
England and U.S. provided new money for these people. And so the dark agenda has been doing this for years. How many countries have we blown up since you were born? And then this is the first time in history, and it was through a fluke that we common people have been able to invest in the Iraqi dinar. But the wealth and the politicians have been taking advantage of that situation for years and years, lining their pockets with this enormous investment. So this is happening worldwide. We're not calling the resetting of the world an RV, but in technicality, I guess you could call it a revalue, because there's going to be an awful lot of countries having a reset of their money evaluation at the same time. And
over 100 or so, 130 or so.
Well, I've always heard 180, but I've heard 150 and 130 and 87 and 86, and we won't know until it happens, dear one, how many countries actually have done the same, becoming sovereign and having their own new currency. But
what I was wondering was, when you said ours will go down 90%, possibly, and that's in our country, right?
Yes, sir.
And then we have trade with all the other countries. I was wondering how that's going to work. But
that is me 1 second. Lynn, I got to run next door and check him. I'll be back in a couple minutes. All right.
I know that all the other countries a lot of countries are revaluing, and theirs may drop. And ours
there will be countries that drop and some that will accelerate, and it's all being done. Were you on a call here a week or two ago where there was a lady that works for a university, and she and another man were very good at explaining algorithms to us, and how a computer, you input a lot of information into the computer and it kicks out a formula for you.
Right.
And
process.
Yeah, that may be what's happening worldwide, and like I've said before, everything is fluid. Things change on a minute's notice because of whatever, this and that and the other thing. So it's a very complicated thing that is happening, and we have no control over it. It's the people that are getting the job done that they are working their best to get it done in a very smooth way for everybody. But there's many, many different components to these calculations, and
it must be millions.
Like I've heard somebody on another call say that's way above my pay scale. So I don't know the answer to that.
I'll bet you don't know the answer to this one either. Is the EPA still going to be here?
No, the EPA is going bye-bye, and so is CDC, and all the three-letter agencies are going to be gone.
What about the law? You mentioned the sheriffs, but as you go up the scale there on, say, high crime, who will be handling that? Will there be set up for that, and for judges and so forth?
Judges are going to be gone too. Okay,
so
we're going to have common law courts, and from what I understand, if two people make a complaint against somebody, it can be taken into court, and there will be no judge. There will be three people that are peers of the people that are being accused, and that will. Pardon me, ma'am. I think you're unmuted. You're making a comment there.